close and that they will not have nuclear weapons.
If one comes together, he would travel to Islamabad to sign a deal, and that the next round of talks may happen this weekend in Islamabad, as we understand it. There were reports this morning that the White House was swatting down. A Reuters report circulating claiming that the U.S. was scaling back its ambitions for this peace agreement, to Iranian sources claiming that the U.S. was pursuing potentially a 20-year moratorium on enrichment while Iran was asking for 3 to 5.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. For now, a U.S. blockade of Iranian ports continues with a U.S.-Iran ceasefire set to expire next week. The president announcing a new ceasefire today between Israel and Lebanon, where Israeli forces have battled Iran proxy Hezbollah. The president just posting that he's nominating Dr. Erica Schwartz to be CDC director. She's a former deputy surgeon general. His nominee for surgeon general has been stalled, partly over concerns about vaccine views. That remains a concern for some lawmakers after changes in the recommended schedule of vaccines for children, which has been challenged in court. But Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. tells a House budget hearing that on a number of issues, the status quo was failing.
As my uncle, President John F. Kennedy, said, progress is a nice word, but change is its motivator, and change has its enemies.
Kennedy says he's ending an era of federal policies that he says fueled a chronic disease epidemic. A source telling Fox News the Department of Justice is now investigating former Congressman Eric Swalwell in connection with allegations of sexual assault. Several women have accused him of misconduct. Swalwell has called allegations false. Another record day on Wall Street. The Dow up 114 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-983-2077 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-983-2077. That's 800-983-2077. What do you have to lose? Call 800-983-2077. Again, 800-983-2077.
The Utah judge overseeing the case against accused Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson unseals an ATF report.
Judge Tony Graff unsealing a ballistics report from the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives that could not conclusively match a bullet fragment recovered during Charlie Kirk's autopsy to the rifle found near the scene of his killing. However, the reports did confirm a match to a used casing. The tested material includes a deformed/damaged piece of bullet jacket and 4 lead fragments. Prosecutors allege separate testing found Tyler Robinson's DNA on the gun and 3 of 4 rounds inside. Robinson is charged with aggravated murder in the September killing of Kirk at Utah Valley University. Prosecutors intend to seek the death penalty. The 22-year-old has not entered a plea.
Fox's Christian Goodwin. Robinson is due back in court tomorrow for a hearing on the defense motion to exclude news cameras from future proceedings. Cleanup continues in Milwaukee after a month's worth of rain in just a few hours, the latest in several rounds of storms.
The city of Milwaukee's drainage system not enough to handle the amount of rain that came pouring down over several days, with more storms Wednesday flooding numerous structures and major roadways. Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
I saw cars that were floating in the streets, and I know the awful feeling so many shared as water filled their basement. I had a little water in the basement at my house too.
Milwaukee police and fire crews responding to over 60 emergency flooding calls and rescues overnight.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. Some of the hardest hit areas still flooded, with the region expecting more storms tomorrow. The Artemis II astronauts holding their first news conference since their record-setting trip around the moon.
We've done this together. We took your hearts with us, and your hearts lifted our hearts.
Christina Cook says they just wanted to make a difference. Recapping stocks, the Dow up 115, new highs for the S&P and the NASDAQ. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Davis, 2 threes today. Make it 3. Davis will launch, and Davis will hit. Here's Jake Davis into the starting lineup, and the 3. Davis, 3 against Singleton. Davis, corner 3.
Or get that one.
Quick pass, Mirkovic to Davis.
And Ivasic, offensive rebound. Now Wagler down low, smartly pulls it back out. Davis, toeing the line. There's a 3 in there for Ivasic.
Ivasic from the elbow.
2-3 zone. You can't just throw it in there to Ivasic and think he's not going to make that shot.
He hits it again.
Devonsa and Saunders at BYU. Anderson and Toppin at Texas Tech, the other 2. Shot clock at 8.
Oh, beautiful entry for Tommy Slom.
And chance at the line, the alley-oop to Ivasic, and Zvonimir Ivasic.
Means that Underwood has made, we have to keep pace as they turn it over, and Ivasic with the jam.
He's trying to run. Djokovic, there you go. All the way, and he misses on the jam. Wow. Boswell, give it up.
Guess who's back again. Goosebumps, Coop. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling good. I'm rearing and ready to go for next season already.
Guess who's back? You ready to run that back?
Let's go.
Another trip to the Balkans, maybe with Raftery on the way to the Final Four. Yeah, Illini fans got a lot to be excited about today. ESPN Radio 93.5, it is The Drive. I'm Curtis. Evan Stone out today. But the retention continues here because we have the nephew, Cooper O'Kelly.
Not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. He's back, our guy from the Champagne Room, our fine intern, and back in the studio with Evans. He's got a sick kiddo, so he's home with his kiddos and you know, being a good dad. So you get to have all the glory that came with last night at the annual Coaches versus Cancer. I believe it was Kickin' Cancer last night. That was the official title for Brad Underwood's big fundraiser. And before we get into the Illini team news, over $690,000 were raised last night at the Kicking Cancer event that goes towards cancer research. So an unbelievable night. If you were in attendance, well done, Illini fans. That's an incredible number. And we talked a lot. You know, if the guys are there, don't be surprised if a few of them, 1 or 2 anyways, would have an announcement for you. It turns out 3 for sure, along with Merck, now 4. The Twins and Jake Davis both going to run it back. How you feeling about all of it, Coop?
I'm feeling really good. I'm ready to get some arrangements made for a trip to Detroit next April.
Is that where we're going? We're going to Detroit next April?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I like Indy a little bit better, but I suppose we could go to Detroit if we have to.
Come on,
if we must, we'll go there. So sharpshooting Jake Davis back. I love the idea of he and Stephen Vox and what they can do from the perimeter on the same team together. I love the idea of the Twins back, obviously, with Merck. And last night, one of the big chants that happened, you might have heard about this, was Andre. And he kind of, as they say in wrestling terms, he kayfabed it. He no-sold it. He didn't. He smirked a little bit, but he didn't stand up or say anything one way or the other. How do you feel about that?
That was interesting. I don't know. I don't quite know how to feel about it. Like, I would think that if he knows he's coming back, like, why not just announce it right then and there, right?
Wouldn't last night have been something?
That's what I'm thinking.
It is kind of interesting that Merck, the way he did it as well. I really got a kick out of that. Let's talk about that because I haven't got your opinion on that. Now, do you follow him on Twitch or did you instantly follow him on Twitch after that?
It was like right when it hit 2 p.m. I saw his Instagram story and he's like, "All right, I'm going to be live on Twitch at 2." And I'm like, all right, like I'll take the bait here and see what this goofy dude is up to on Twitch. Because you kind of assume that something big is happening. And he's making that announcement. He's like, yeah, beautiful season. Don't know if you could ever replicate something like that. spoke with my agent. I'm going to be doing, and then it all cuts out.
And then it didn't go black. I made the joke. It was like the end of The Sopranos where it all goes black.
Yeah.
But instead, it went to some ducks floating around in the water is what it went to for a moment.
And then everyone's freaking out. And then I love how the kind of rip off of the MJ press conference statement. That was sweet. That was really cool.
Yeah, I'm back. Well, here's what I want to play for you real quick. Now, the audio, I will admit, a little muddy, but it came from the Coaches versus Cancer event last night, and it's Jake and the Twins announcing they're back. And I think I cleaned the audio up well enough that you're going to get the gist of, especially when Tommy decides to crack open a beer. Just give this a listen.
Hey, what do you got? It's a great place to be. You guys make me feel like home. I love all my teammates. I love the staff, everything here. So why leave? I might as well just stay here. So I just want to ask first, does anybody have a drink for me? I'm a little thirsty. Tommy doesn't need a beer because it'll be gone in 2 seconds.
And it was.
Now what? As he burps. I'm back. We got more? I'm not here alone. I got my twin brother here, so he's got to say something too. I decided to put my name in it. I'm playing by this man.
Z could have sold that a lot more. He could have said, "I'm putting my name in the trans," but he went to the joke a little too quick, But we got the gist. They're running it back. So now you got Merck, the Twins, Jake Davis back. Waiting one way or the other on what Andrei Stojakovic is going to do. And again, to your point that you just made, it would have made a lot of sense for everybody to kind of announce together. But Merck did what he did to kind of set things in motion. And in that regard, it gets fans excited. If you're going to that event last night, you're like, okay, well, Merck did this afternoon ahead of everything. What are we going to get tonight with the other guys there?
I almost think in the entree regard that he's almost kind of waiting to see what John Blackwell does.
That's a fair point. Talk a little bit more about that, why that might be in your brain or other people's minds.
I think that, when you have so many players that, I don't want to say that are ball dominant, but they like having the ball in their hands, eventually there's only so much to go around. And I wonder if Andre is thinking, well, I've already been to 3 different schools in 3 years. I need one more strong senior season to cement myself as like a upper echelon NBA prospect. Maybe I go somewhere where there's less mouths to feed, and I go somewhere where I can be ball dominant and have my hands on the ball as much as possible.
I wonder what his role would be. Here, I'll step back for a second. I don't envision Andre coming off the bench next year if he stays.
I agree.
I mean, I expected him to be a starter all year. It was interesting how he found his way into that role of being the guy off the bench, but essentially he was still putting up starter numbers in that role and continued to flip the switch. So I would imagine if he sticks around that he will be starting. He wouldn't be coming off the bench for the 26-27 season. Having said that, that's an excellent point that you just made. And so that turns to, well, where could he go to raise his profile to be an NBA player? Because if you just made a run to the Final Four with this group, what makes it better? What makes it more high profile for you?
I don't know if it would necessarily be a more high profile program or one that's going to reach the same heights that Illinois did and the heights that they're expecting to make next season. But I think that it all kind of depends on his priorities.
Right.
And I would have to imagine that his priorities are, all right, I want as much of a guarantee as I can get that I'm going to get drafted in hopefully at some point in the first round of the NBA. So if he goes to a middle of the pack Big Ten team, let's say, just throwing something out there like that, and he can go out there and score 20 a night, which he is certainly capable of.
Yep.
Maybe he and his agent feel that that's best for him in his career. And I can't say I would fully knock him for that. Obviously, I want him to come back.
Sure.
But I could understand it from both sides, I think.
217-359-2255. That's your number for the Max Twin City Recycling text line. Not everybody coming back. It was also announced earlier that Ty Rogers has entered the transfer portal. And Kenny on our text line, he was at the Kicking Cancer event last night. He says, when Ty wasn't in attendance, I knew he wasn't coming back. And Joe in Springfield, our guy, Ty has been the ultimate teammate the past 2 years. Wish him nothing but the best. Please just don't go to Michigan State, though. Merez went to Michigan. We don't want Ty to go to Michigan State, right?
That would look he'd be a good fit.
Where would you, if he's healthy? First of all, I hope the young man's healthy.
Agreed.
Where do you think he would be a good fit for his game? And I mean, because as a freshman, he was putting up fantastic numbers, right? Ty was doing a great job here and just bit by the injury bug. So as he's riding off into the sunset with his college career, where could you see him playing, Coop?
I really do see Michigan State
No,
as
don't
being
say it, Coop.
solid fit. Because,
Come on, Coop.
You know, the one knock on Ty's game is that he can't really shoot, and it hurts when you have someone that can't fully space out the floor and help you, elevate your offense to all three levels. But I do think that that's something that Izzo, I feel like there's always a Spartan out there that, they're not a threat to shoot the ball, but they're going to be running around. They're going to be making the high effort plays. They're going to be dunking the ball. And that's a lot of what Ty does well, at least when he's healthy.
217-359-2255 for the Max Twin City Recycling text line. Heath on the text line, I saw bees flying around on Merck's stream. Was I seeing things? I thought they were ducks. But I got to be honest, I was looking at pictures and secondhand video because I don't have Twitch.
It might have been bees.
It might have been bees.
Yeah.
You know what? It probably was bees. Probably was. I did see somebody last night on Twitter, don't ask me whose handle it was, that was making a big deal out of the undershorts that Merck was wearing under his usual Illini uniform. Somebody are those mushrooms that he's wearing on it? Like, one, why are you looking at dude's underwear? And two, you screenshotted that?
I did not see that.
Come on now. If that was you, stop it. Just quit doing that. All right, to anybody, nobody. They're athletes. They got to wear stuff under their uniforms. Don't be screenshotting that. You weirdos. There's always one that's got to ruin it for everybody. 217-359-2255 for the Max Twin City Recycling text line. Let's go ahead and do this, Coop.
Illini headlines on ESPN 93.5.
Because I had them somewhere. Oh, they're right here in my hand. There they are. Yes, it's the retention. Did you dub it the retention officially?
That is not me. That's like a thing.
Oh, well, we're going to say we're giving Coop you get the credit for it. All Twin right. Centers, Tomislav and Zvonimir Ivasic and adopted Balkan brother Jake Davis announced last night at head coach Brad Underwood's annual Kicking Cancer fundraiser that they are all returning to the Illini for the 26-27 season. Davis and the Ivasic twins join David Mirkovic, who announced his return yesterday afternoon as key returning players for next year's team. The Illini coming off a Final Four appearance with a 28-9 record, the fourth most wins in school history. Illinois softball defeated SEMO 9-8 yesterday afternoon at Eichelberger Field in the first ever meeting between the two programs. Eileen Donahue tallied 3 hits, including 2 homers, and left-handed pitcher Abby Zabalaski, I'm sorry if I butchered your last name, Abby, hurled the final 3 2/3 frames, holy Columbus, Ohio, in the circle, nothing to do with turds, to pick up her 6th win of the year. Finally, in tennis, because I never forget tennis, Fighting Illini freshman Gabrielle DeBrew was named the Big Ten Freshman of the Week by the conference office following his standout performance during Illinois' road matches in LA. DeBrew now has secured Big Ten Freshman of the Week honors for the second time this season. And those are your Illini headlines. So, Stefan Vox, which I don't think you and I got to talk much about. I mean, you've been out. You had strep throat, right?
Yeah. That was brutal, by the way.
I got to say, your voice sounds pretty smooth overall.
There we go. I'm glad. The antibiotics did their thing.
Oh, did they get you a Z-Pack?
Augmentin was the medicine.
Was it 5 of them you take, or was it like how many pills did you have?
I think it was a week's worth, so it was like 14.
Okay. 2 a day with food. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
How long did it take before you were feeling better?
Dude, a long time. We talked about this off the air, but that was the first time I ever had strep throat. And whenever I heard people talk about it, I'm like, oh, you could just have a sore throat.
It's amazing to me that was the first time you ever had strep, especially as a college student.
I don't know. I had like no energy. Like I felt like I could barely even get out of bed. My body was aching even though I didn't do anything. It was rough, man. I'm happy to be rid of that.
Did they take a picture of your throat? Do you have your tonsils?
I do have my tonsils.
Aha, so you're even more high risk.
Is that true?
Yeah, as someone with tonsils, I've been told by a couple of doctors that you're more high risk to that. And I go, what does that mean? It's going to hurt more, I guess, because
there's like yucky stuff on my tonsils.
It's no good.
Yeah,
it's no good, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're back.
I'm happy.
I'm glad there's no retention on your tonsils.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Appreciate all the texts we're getting. 217-359-2255. Keep them coming on the Max Twin City Recycling text line. Big Dev said that intro was fire, as I believe the kids say. Coop, do the kids still say that? Do they still call things fire?
Yeah, that's a thing.
There you go, Big Dev. See?
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's go,
It's
baby.
with the haps.
What?
It's with the haps.
I thought you said, what's the haps?
No.
That's definitely not something the youth say.
No.
You know, you are the lifeline we have to what is cool and not cool, Coop.
I don't know if I'm the best representation of that, but I'll try my best.
It's you and Tosk. That's it. We,
all right.
You and Carson as well, Gordy. You know, we need you young guys.
Couple of cool guys.
You young guys in your early 20s. We need you to keep the rest of us. Is Nintendo still a big thing?
No.
Now, Nintendo was the original video.
It is.
Okay,
Come
I'm
on
just
now.
checking. I'm going to take a break. When we return, we'll dive in more to your text messages. We'll talk more about hashtag the retention. We'll talk more about Stephen Vox. I want to get Coop, your opinion on that. And also, let's kind of dive into the numbers as well. I know you've been doing some homework and look at exactly what Jake, Z, Tommy, and Merck are going to be bringing back, where they can improve, where their game could grow for the 26-27 season. So we'll do that next on The Drive.
Hey, we're looking for a couple of really professional drivers that know the ropes and would like to get a home where they're treated with respect, getting home every weekend, making a good wage, and doing the right things safely. Yeah.
Awesome. 2 people. All right. And how would they connect with you for that?
They can get me at TIMO@GFTLOG.com or 765-793-7131 extension 4, or even my cell phone right now, 765-505-1295.
And then for dedicated diesel off Route 45 on Triumph Drive, as you're driving toward Rantobi on the left-hand side, you'll find dedicated diesel. What do you offer there?
Hey, we've got a couple of good mechanics in, trailer mechanic and tractor mechanic right now. We're doing DOT annual inspections, trailer repair, truck repair, just whatever you need, we can take care of.
Wow, that's really nice to know, because, you know, we have to drive into some other cities. Not convenient. You can't get all that done here in Urbana at dedicated diesel.
Looking for a warm, welcoming place to relax in Tuscola? Stop by Hometown Grounds, where great coffee and great company come together. They're proudly serving Mad Goat coffee, so you can enjoy a rich, delicious cup while catching up with friends. And if you've got kids, no problem. There's a special play area where they can have fun and you sit back and relax. Hometown Grounds is a gathering place for the whole community and perfect for meetings. Come see what everyone's talking about in Tuscola. Visit hometowngroundscoffee.com and plan your visit today.
Champaign-Urbana Ballet makes a big splash with The Little Mermaid on May 1st and 2nd at the Virginia Theater. Glamorous and amusing, this magical adventure is one for the whole family. Sponsored by Area Wide Technologies, Bill Bass Foundation, Champaign Ballet Academy, Stone Ridge Dairy, and 2 Men and a Truck. Tickets at Virginia Theater box office or visit thevirginia.org. Join CU Ballet Under the Sea with The Little Mermaid.
Your next adventure starts right here. Fly Champaign-Urbana and skip the long drive to bigger airports. With American Airlines flights through Dallas and Chicago, you're connected to coastlines, cruises, and global escapes. With connections to over 200 destinations, from here, the world is within reach. Fly Champaign-Urbana, Willard Airport, because the best trips start closer to home.
Hi, Ellen Hook here, owner of your local Ashley. Take advantage of our 48-hour flash sale. All patio, take an additional 10% off. 20% off everything in the store. Living room, dining room, bedroom, mattresses, massage chairs, tables, home decor, and more. Or finance for 0% interest with no money down and no minimum purchase. Hurry into Ashley's 48-hour flash sale today. From 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. today and tomorrow, our 48-hour flash sale at Ashley, April 15th and 16th.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Mirkovic cutting Davis down the lane. He'll go to Mirkovic. Around the horn and underneath. And Mirkovic is fouled on the play. They're going to have to get it going at some point. 2-10, second half. Long shot. Mirkovic!
Everything great, like, gotta come to an end. And, like, we can't look back. We gotta make the next step, and, like, after long talks and a lot of thinking about my future, like with my agent and all of the staff, and I decided to
troll everybody. That's what he decided to do. The Cowboy Merc, the first to announce he's going to help run it back for the Illini. It is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. I'm Curtis Allen. Our fine intern, the nephew, Cooper O'Kelly from the Champagne Room, co-hosting with me today. Evan's got a sick kiddo. He's out for the day. Hopefully we got Evan back tomorrow. And, I mean, it's a bug everywhere. It's going around. You had it, for goodness sake. You had strep throat. I'm glad you survived that.
I appreciate it.
I'm glad that you're back just in time for all the Illini magic. You came, I mean, like, I'm not joking. When Coop came in here today, he had one of the biggest smiles I've ever seen on his face. I'm going to put him on camera. He's got it right now. He was genuinely like, man, I just hit the lottery, man. I'm doing great. The Illini. It's been a great day.
Feeling great.
Like, the first text I got last night was from you, and it said, let's go, run it back, or something like that. Let's run it back. And I was like, oh, man. Coop's in the know. He heard what happened at the Kicking Cancer event. He's ready.
I was fired up. I mean, I got one more year left on campus next year. Might as well have a good basketball team trot out there. So
one thing that I appreciated from you during the Final Four run was you were on the show with us, and you had said, I recognize that this is rare air, that this is kind of a special thing. So, for you as a student, a fan, and also someone who covers the team as well, in a couple of different ways, including for the Champagne Room, what does it mean to you, that sort of excitement that can come along with this?
I mean, it's meant everything. I feel like as a student and fan, first and foremost, I just feel very lucky that this is something that, students that came here over the past 20 years never got to experience. And I just happen to be on campus at CAMS, running through Green Street, like celebrating all this stuff. And it's been unreal. And as a journalism student, like, I just feel like I got lucky. I'm here at the right time where I get to cover a really thriving athletics program. Whereas if I was here maybe 10 years ago, things would not have been this way. And
You've been a little downtrodden.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I've been able to get. So I'm very grateful for that.
I told this story. I don't think you were here for it. I told this story a couple of weeks ago, and it was when Underwood had just signed. He had just been hired as the new head coach. And I was working at another radio station here in town, and we put on this big event. And one of the things that people could do that came out for the event was come meet the new Illini basketball coach, Brad Underwood. He's going to be in such and such a room. I think we were over at the iHotel when we did this. Come on by, get your picture taken with him, get an autograph, meet the new head coach. And at one point I remember walking by, and he was just in there by himself. Like, nobody was coming in. And I remember feeling kind of bad, and I just went in there and talked to Underwood for a few minutes, and nice to meet. He was very friendly, very kind, and I felt bad. I was like, I'm kind of sorry. I'm going to get some people, and he's like, oh no, it's okay. Everybody that's come by. So to go from that, like, it's okay. I don't mind being in this little room by myself. To people, turning out, selling out his Kicking Cancer event.
Yeah.
Every year is pretty fantastic. And not just that, the success, obviously, that comes along with it. People wouldn't be, I shouldn't say that. Maybe they wouldn't be as enthusiastic about the big events or the big fundraisers if this sort of success and what he's doing for the community doesn't come along with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes total sense. And I was not familiar with kind of the history that surrounds Illinois basketball, like what was going on before I decided to come here. So I'm not going to like get up here and pretend to understand like the pain and suffering that a lot of fans have gone through over the past.
You just get a beer or two in Evan and then talk to him about his past Illini trauma. He'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, the past 2 decades, there's been tons of people that just have not. They've been out of luck in terms of watching winning basketball, winning football. So I'm happy that I'm here now and I get to root alongside those people, Evan included, and just get to bask it all in, even though I didn't really earn it.
Even you, Evan. 217-359-2255. Marcus in Colorado asking if the stream is down. Unfortunately, yes, we are waiting on a part that will fix the computer with the live stream that handles our stream. It has been, for whatever reason, backed up. It was supposed to be here last Wednesday. Then it was supposed to be here today. I don't know if it has arrived yet. So, like Scott in Terre Haute is a listener that's asked us a few times about the stream, and I apologize if you're used to going to steviej.com and listening. It is stuff that's just been out of our control, but we are working as hard as we can to get everything back to how it should be. You can still watch us on YouTube. That link in the live stream for the video is also on the website as well. I know some people prefer just the audio. I get it. I wouldn't want to look at me either for a couple hours if I were you.
Come on.
But if you get the Sorry, I'm not better looking. Do you know what movie that's from? Sorry, I'm not better looking.
American Psycho?
No. It was a Sandler movie. Never mind. All right, anyways.
Know.
But I digress. Yeah, we're working on getting the stream fixed. Coop's got some numbers for us that I want to dive into, and you did a good job with this. It shows where there's room for improvement with these guys that are coming back, why there's room for optimism, things, again, that can be improved, and maybe how this will work with a Stephen Vox involved with the offense as well. So what did you dig into? What did you find?
Yeah, so just looking at the big four, right? That's what we've been calling it, the big four of rotation guys that are coming back next season. You've got Merck, you've got Tommy, you've got Z, you've got Jake Davis. Looking at Merck first and foremost, I think he's in a spot where he came out and he said, like, I wasn't thinking about other teams. I was thinking about either the NBA or I'm coming back here to Champaign. Opted to stay here, kind of trying to improve his draft stock, go up from where he's currently slotted as like an early to mid second round type of guy.
Right.
He averaged 13 points per game, 8 rebounds, 2.6 assists, shooting 48.4% from the field, 37.5% from three, which I think that number is really encouraging. That's something that I wasn't fully expecting. I wasn't thinking that Merck was going to be one of our more efficient shooters from behind the three-point line past season. But he was pretty solid in that regard. And I think that for him, he has the most room to improve out of anybody, which is kind of crazy because he was on the Big Ten all-freshman team. He was an honorable mention, like all-conference guy. But I really think he's going to be coming into next season as one of the picks for the best players in the entire conference, which is a pretty big jump from where he was. Don't get me wrong, but he has so many traits to him that make him so valuable to this offense. And it's not only the scoring, it's the distributing and really the willingness to be that distributor. It's not like he can make good passes. It really seems like he enjoys doing it, and he's fine with bringing the ball up the floor when the ball dominant guy, like if Keaton was getting swarmed by too many defenders, then Merck would bring it up and it would work with no like hitches at all. And I think that's going to be a really encouraging thing to watch out for.
Well, and to your point, what we're talking about, really, this is a young man who was he was like a second option for scoring, right? The offense went through, and now it went through Keaton, and now you're talking about him being a go-to scorer in development. Really, you're talking about the next step for a guy like Merck is 16, 18. Dare I say, maybe even 20 points a game, depending on how he develops in the post and as that inside-out player. He can shoot, as you just said, a fantastic shooter. I love it when he's flat-footed and cranks a three and nails it. I know it drives some people crazy, like John and Camargo. I'm kidding, John. But yeah, that's what we're talking about now is going from a secondary option to getting maybe more touches in the post or whatever the case may be. And that was, I thought, a pretty good comparison you made to, like where Tommy was at one point in his career versus where Merck is now.
Yeah, so coming into last season, Tommy in his freshman year looked like one of the premier, like, three-point spot up, like stretch the floor big men in all of college basketball. Like there were polls going around with college basketball writers and reporters that saying that Tommy was going to come into the season as the best center in all of college basketball.
There was a lot of that. You're right.
There was a bar that was set extremely high, and it kind of felt like, okay, it's going to be Andre, it's going to be Kylan, and it's going to be Tommy, and that's going to be like the core focus on this team. And obviously, things didn't quite end up shaking out in Tommy's favor. I think that he had a rough season, especially from behind the arc. It felt like the biggest spot where he was going to take that next step up in production was offensively, and his numbers were down kind of across the board. Still averaged 10.4 points, 5.6 rebounds per game last season, but both of those averages were down. His three-point percentage was down. And I think that, he really came alive in March Madness. I thought he put together a string of really good games in the tournament. And I feel like that's a really positive indication where, okay, I didn't have the best sophomore season, but I'm going to come back for my junior year. I'm going to remind everybody who I am, who I can be, show that I can play at the next level. I mean, he's 7 feet tall, and he can shoot the three well when he's at his best. Right. So it's a pretty positive indication for NBA standards. So I think he'll be fine, and this will be a really big opportunity and season for him especially.
And then on the other side of that is his twin brother, obviously, Big Z. So Zvonimir, I'm curious. I don't think their roles will change much. I think that it'll still be Tommy starting at center. Z's going to be the backup. They'll be interchangeable. I don't expect much. And again, we'll see how the roster shakes out between now and August, September, whatever the case may be. But I would imagine it's still going to be a similar setup between the twins. What did you find out when you were digging into the numbers on Z?
Z's the guy who I wouldn't have been overly surprised if he transferred somewhere else, because he is someone who is also an NBA prospect,
right?
Which feels ridiculous that there's that many guys on this roster already that are like, okay, I have a chance at playing in the NBA. And Z is definitely one of them. He's one of the best rim protectors in the entire country. Last season, he was fourth in the country with a 12.9% block rate. That's good for 1.9 blocks per game.
You're talking about almost 2 blocks a game. And that was actually at one point, it was over 2 a game he was averaging. And it kind of went down a little bit. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, all good. But he is kind of like an athletic freak when you think about it. He can touch over 12 feet with his full vertical jump. When he was coming to Illinois, his past season at Arkansas, he was one of their best three-point shooters. And I feel like that's something that we didn't even really get a full taste of here in Champaign. I don't know if he really put that on full display, how efficiently he can score from behind the arc as well. But like I was saying to start off this whole point, I kind of thought he was going to go somewhere else so that he could start and get a full game's worth of minutes every night. I personally believe that they're going to bump up his minutes this year as compared to last year. And I think that, there's some shoes to fill with Ben Humrickhouse being gone, and now people might have expected that Ty Rodgers was going to get some of those minutes.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, and I think believe it was Keith on the text line. He said when he noticed Ty wasn't there, that's when he knew. But I was probably in the camp of people that thought, okay, well, if Ty sticks around, he's definitely going to be a guy that takes those minutes that you saw from Humrickhouse or whomever.
Yeah, so now I think it seems like at least the plan is going to be that Z is going to be out there and he's going to have a much bigger role, and I'm all for it. When you have a guy that not only is he an absolute highlight factory type guy where you saw the clip where he dunked all over that dude in the VCU game.
Oh, you're talking
Take me to the ball.
Is this what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
the flying Ivicic play. Like he is an absolute highlight factory. He can get the energy going on both sides of the ball. But for this defense, he is so valuable. And when you're losing a guy like Kylan Boswell, who's one of the premier perimeter defenders in college basketball, it's going to really help to still have an anchor down low to shore things up at the rim.
217-359-2255 for the Max Twin City Recycling text line. This hour is your hour. Coop and I are here taking the text. Love to get your feedback. How are you feeling about the hashtag retention of the Ivicic twins and Merck and Jake Davis? Big Def on the text line. Merck's versatility and skill for his size and vision and playmaking are such an X factor and totally affect our team needs. That awesome dimension to his game was as valuable as Wagler or anyone else that we, A, didn't need a true point backup this year and still did well when Kylan was hurt, and B, that we really only need a combo guard who can lead like Vox, or he says hashtag prayers up Blackwell for next year. Commentator Steve Smith said it beautifully in early March, parentheses, point power forward is our Merc. Thank you, Big Def. Well done. I hope I didn't butcher your point too bad. 217-359-2255. And Evan in Savoy says, is John listening? I wonder if that's our Evan. Couldn't be, right? No way.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that it might be.
You know, take care of the sick kiddo, man. What are you doing texting into the show? And don't worry about John. You should be, you know what? Those guys, they should just be texting each other. It gets me a little fired up. I think that maybe they should just exchange numbers, John and Camargo and our guy Evan Stone, and they could take their beef to the streets or just to their own private text line. 217-359-2255. That is the number for the Max Twin City Recycling text line. You mentioned Ty Rodgers, and this may be a silly question to you, Coop, but what are the Illini ultimately losing by not bringing back a healthy Ty Rodgers this upcoming year?
Oh, man. I mean, the whole kind of the discussion around Ty Rodgers is so hard to have because there's just a huge asterisk over a guy that hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not just the injury that kept him out for a whole season, and there were a lot of question marks around that from the get-go. I feel like nothing was ever really clear what happened to him, when he would be coming back, if he would be coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, he already sat out a full year because he redshirted. So
right.
You really don't know what you were going to be getting with Ty Rodgers. One thing I will say from a leadership expert or a leadership standpoint, he meant a lot to this team, and you can kind of see it in media availability. It seemed like every player was talking about the impact that he had, even though he wasn't even playing. So I think they're going to miss something in that regard. As a player, I mean, I just don't know if somebody who can't shoot the three really will fit in with this offense.
It's interesting. You know, Ty started was every game his sophomore year. 6 points, 5 boards a game. He was leading in offensive rebounding, which of course is a hallmark of what Brad Underwood wants to do. And Underwood referred to him many times as a culture guy. So I mean, it is sort of interesting from that perspective what may be lost for the Illini next year. But it's a culture altogether, not just one guy that Brad Underwood's put together with this particular Illini roster. 217-359-2255 for the Max Twin City Recycling text line. It'll be interesting to see where Ty ends up. You know, somebody's going to get a 6'6" forward that is trying to elevate his game and possibly find himself at the next level after this year as a senior. 217 texter, if they change the fifth-year rule like they are discussing, I wonder if Boswell could return. There are rumors it could go live this summer and be retroactive to players from last year. A lot of rumors about Carson Cooper returning to Michigan State, for example, if it goes through. Coop, what do you know about your cousin Carson? Is he going to come back and play or not?
I don't
you
know
anything
about that.
I don't know how the fifth-year rule would play out for Boswell. I mean, he just played last night, right?
Yeah, he did in the PIT.
PIT. How did he did well, right?
He
Dropped
did really
20
well.
or something like that.
Yeah, 21 points, and the official name is the Portsmouth Invitational. He had 21 points, 8 assists, and he hit like a crazy deep three from like the logo at half court. I saw that be shared on social media. But the thing about Kylan is that, yeah, he was a senior and he played all 4 years, but he's younger than I am. Like,
What?
He's 20 years old.
What?
Yeah, there was a stat going on that he was the same age as one of the players on Arizona who was like 20 as well, and he was a freshman, and Kylan was a senior. So all of that kind of gets thrown off a little bit because Kylan went to go play at Arizona early. He played when he was 17 for the first time. So I kind of get the point that he's making, and the fifth-year rule is technically, I believe, to my best understanding, it's a clock that starts once you turn 19 years old, and then you have 5 years from that point on. Injuries, transferring, whatever, doesn't matter. The only exceptions, I believe, are there's one that's like a religious retreat for like the BYU mission trips.
Oh, like yeah. Well, that was the initial controversy about it last year was in regards to BYU. So yeah, and that had completely slipped out of my brain. I don't even know if controversy is the right word for it. It wasn't a controversy to me necessarily, but some people were poo-pooing it. 217-359-2255. There's John in Camargo. If he is talking about Coop saying he wanted to see Z shoot more threes or something to that effect, then yes, I did hear it. With Evan gone, I fully expected for whomever filled in the seat to continue spewing the same verbal vomit about three-pointers. I was right again. No, it does not get old. That's John in Camargo. He's zeroed in on you now, Coop.
That's fine.
You and your verbal vomit. 217-359-2255. Good news for me, maybe. I didn't get banned from doing curveballs, so maybe I'll throw a couple of those at you, Cooper.
All right.
We'll do that next on The Drive.
Hi, this is Damon Hackelman, owner of Clean Ride in Champaign. As winter fades and spring rains move in, melting snow, heavy storms, and stressed pipes can quickly turn into flooding and water damage for homes and businesses across Champaign County. When water shows up where it shouldn't, every minute matters. At Clean Right, we're a family-owned and operated company with deep roots in this community, and we're ready with a 24/7 emergency response. Our certified, experienced technicians arrive fast to assess the damage and start the restoration process right away. Whether it's a flooded basement, burst pipe, or storm damage, we work to make the recovery quick and as stress-free as possible. Our mission is to return your property to clean, safe, like new condition so you can get back to normal. We work alongside trusted expert partners to make the restoration process smooth and stress-free, guiding you every step of the way. Learn more or request emergency service anytime at cleanright.net.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now at Lands, it's a great time to buy a new Trane heating and cooling system. We are offering special financing or up to $1,500 off any qualifying Trane system. At Lands, we know what it takes to deliver exceptional comfort, and we offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you are thinking of a new comfort system, now is the time to buy. And remember, it's hard to stop a Trane. I'm Troy Lands. You can count on my company because you can count on me.
Former Illini Terrence Shannon Jr. of the Minnesota Timberwolves about Ben Quattrone from Sarah Champagne.
What kind of friend has he been?
Unbelievable. Ever since I came to this dealership, me and Ben had interactions. He's been a great person this whole time. It still is. I always would recommend him to anybody about a car or anything. He's always going to be there for you no matter what. He always be behind you. He's just a great person.
Visit sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA champagne.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Lake with the Philo Exchange Bank. At Philo Exchange Bank, we believe that banking should feel personal. Whether you bank online or stop in to see our friendly team, we are here to support your financial goals every step of the way. Visit us at any one of our locations in Philo, St. Joseph, Allerton, Broadlands, or at our newest branch in Tolono, opening this spring.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Everyone knows when you turn the key and the car won't run? Call 367-9481 for PDR Automotive. But did you also know that if you don't have a key and you need it to run, call 367-9481. PDR now performs key cutting with programming. PDR also performs module cloning. Cloning makes that module plug and play, in many cases allowing you to utilize a used module where a new module is no longer available or very expensive. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Welcome back into The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. I'm Curtis Allen. Evan Stone off today, but the nephew has returned. Our fine intern, Cooper O'Kelly from the Champagne Room, in studio with us. And Coop, I feel like it's been so long since I've seen you, so it was nice to have you back in here.
I'm glad to be back.
Now, why weren't you here last Thursday? I can't remember.
That was when I had strep.
That's when you had strep. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then Tuesday you had something.
I was out of town, yeah.
That's right, yeah. You were climbing another mountain. But now you're back. So now, it's been over a week. You haven't got a chance to take a victory lap about your guy, Keaton Wagler, going to the NBA. Hey, you made a lot of angry faces when someone would suggest that he would return. Not at me necessarily. I'm just saying.
I mean, that was this will be the easiest, most carefree victory lap I've ever taken in my entire life. Because if you thought that Keaton Wagler was seriously going to come back to Illinois, you do not know what is happening.
You don't know what's going on in the real world like Cooper does.
Yeah.
No, not a surprise at all. And he was at the Kicking Cancer event last night as well. It looked like he was having a great time with fans. Looked like all the guys were, all the players and Brad Underwood as well, and some of the other coaches that were in attendance. Our good friend Tim Sinclair emceeing the event as well. He always does a fantastic job. So, and again, $690,000 raised last night at that fundraiser. So, all in all, a pretty amazing 24 hours for the Illini fans. Johnny Camargo wants to know, he's going to do some homework, and he's going to get back to you, Coop. All right, he's going to get right back to you, but he wants to know when you're back in the station. Are you going to be back on Tuesday?
Yeah, I'll be back Tuesday.
All right, John. That's when you and Coop can square off again. Big Dev, Kylan's hand injury really blew up his second half of the year, but I've been saying for months that a team might like a two-way contract for the rare 21-year-old with a 4-year Power 4 college career under his belt.
Totally agree. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. Right? I mean, you saw it all 4 years at Arizona and Illinois. He was a pretty stout defender throughout his entire career, and that's something that you don't always see in the NBA. I mean,
right.
it's hard because you're going against some of the best players in the world, of course, but I think Kylan would be a real asset to a lot of NBA teams, and he showed at the Portsmouth Invitational what things can look like when he's like a full-time point guard, right? And trying to set up his teammates, which is something that we didn't get to see too much of just because he also happened to be running the backcourt alongside two future first-round draft picks in KJ and Keaton. So he really got to put on display last night what he can bring as a facilitator, and I think age is a great part of it. 21 years old, 4 years of college experience, and the NBA, I feel like amongst all leagues in professional sports, cares the most about upside and age.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty key point.
No, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Keep the texts coming, 217-359-2255 for the Max Twin City Recycling text line right now. I don't think I've ever done this to you before, Coop.
Curtis's curveball.
I thought they were going to ban me from radio after the last time I did this the other day. I was feeling a little down in the dumps, so I went with a really sad route. I'm not doing that today,
right.
Okay? Nothing sad about it today. However, since you're here, I thought I should mention this one. It's from a new study that's out today. A new study found that marijuana users are twice as likely to experience a type of acute heart stress that resembles a heart attack. I just thought you should know that, Coop.
That's not good.
What do they prescribe for that? Is it medical marijuana? Is that what they give you to fix that? No? All right. Another study out today, speaking of hearts, researchers say that if you inherited the likelihood of heart disease from your parents or grandparents, you can effectively override your genes by just living a healthy lifestyle. So it doesn't. If you have a parent or grandparent that had it, it doesn't mean you're doomed. All right, just be healthy, exercise, eat right. You'll be okay. Of course, if you inherited a comfy couch from them, maybe some nachos, you could be in trouble. Lifetime supply of them. This is the silly story that I found of the day. It's out of Germany. It's usually out of Germany or China is where I find the weird ones. But this is about a guy that flushed a police tie. In Germany, police arrested a 19-year-old for public intoxication. They take him to the station to sober him up. While he was at the station, officers escorted the man to a cell. When he decided that he wasn't going to go in without a fight, while struggling with police, he managed to grab an officer's tie, throw it in the toilet, and then flush it away with the police officer still attached for a moment.
It's a good move.
It is. Coop, you ever had any run-ins with the law, Coop? You seem like
I can't say I have.
All right, we probably should have done a background check on you before.
I have no run-ins with the law.
And finally, one more for the people that enjoy too many brews. Two drunks in China got into a fight over money. One guy slugged the other over the, quote, $2.85 he was owed for a beer. Police arrested both men for public intoxication. Don't let that ever happen to you and your buddies at Cam's, Coop, all right?
All right.
Or Joe's, or wherever it is you youngins hang out. And those are your curveballs on the drive. J Money, hey, here's a plug for your other show, Coop. What's going on with Coop the Scoop on 107.1 FM? What is that station?
That is WPGU. That is our student-run station over at the U of I. I host a show over there. I'm the sports director.
He's the sports director.
I actually started the sports department. I founded it. Yeah. Can you believe they didn't have one?
No,
right?
I really thought there was one.
Yeah, got it going.
The founder. When did you find it? This year? Last year?
Yeah, I was hiding in the closet. I just opened the door. It was sitting right there.
No, and I will tell you, J Money and everyone else, Coop does a fantastic job. He really does. Lindy on the text line, he's backing you up, Coop. I'll say it, Coop. If they thought he, meaning Wagler, was coming back, they are stupid.
Those are Lindy's words. They're not mine.
Lindy, I was down in St. Louis. I went to a concert a couple nights ago, and Lindy probably knows what it is, but I don't. There was some billboard that I saw like between Collinsville and St. Louis, and it was something like Lindy's Bakery or Lindy's Desserts, and I tried to get a picture of it because I wanted to send it to Lindy on our text line, and I couldn't do it. I went by too fast, and there was a semi in the way. Yeah, but Lindy, if you know what I'm talking about, or if you have your own bakery down there, dude, maybe hook us up sometime. Big Dev, he's on your side too. Preach it, Coop. I didn't tune in the day of your guys' discussion, but yeah, the guest's self-assured argument for Wagler staying was nothing short of asinine. Now, wait a minute. Calm down, Big Dev. Don't get too angry. We like our guests. We got a good one coming up in just a few. Tristan Thomas is going to hop on with us. He was also a part of Kicking Cancer last night. I believe Glenn was there as well from WCIA3. They had a lot of great videos between the two of them that I saw circulating. And always stuff happening with local sports as well when we talk about the high schools in the area or even some summer league ball. So spring football, still plenty to talk about. And that we haven't even talked about that yet, Coop. Nope. And so we'll get Tristan's take on all the goodness. One more before we hit the break from Matt Lang. What did that just say? Those are not boos. They're chanting, "Coo." I love it. Look at this. Who needs Stone? We've got Cooper, says Matt on the text line.
Let's go.
Oh, Evan's going to hear that, and he's going to text in any moment now. He's going to be fired up. All right, news on the way in just a few. Tristan Thomas up next. It is The Drive.
Hi, this is Damon Hackelman, owner of Clean Ride in Champaign. When disaster strikes your home or business, you have choices for emergency restoration services in Champaign County, and we're honored every time you choose us. At Clean Ride, you're not calling a big national chain, you're calling a family-owned and operated company with deep roots right here in the community. We treat every customer like a neighbor, because chances are you are. Whether it's water damage, fire, storms, or unexpected emergencies, our certified and experienced technicians are ready with a 24/7 rapid response. We work alongside trusted expert partners to make the restoration process smooth and stress-free, guiding you every step of the way. Our goal is simple: to return your home or business to safe, clean, like-new condition as quickly and painlessly as possible. Learn more or request services anytime at cleanright.net. Cleanright, restoring properties and peace of mind across Champaign County.
Hey, we're looking for a couple of really professional drivers that know the ropes and would like to get a home where they're treated with respect, getting home every weekend, making a good wage, and doing the right things safely. Yeah.
Awesome. 2 people. All right. And how would they connect with you for that?
They can get me at timo@gftlog.com or 765-793-7131 extension 4, or even my cell phone right now, 765-505-1295.
And then for dedicated diesel off Route 45 on Triumph Drive, as you're driving toward Rantoulby on the left-hand side, you'll find dedicated diesel. What do you offer there?
Hey, we've got a couple of good mechanics in, trailer mechanic and tractor mechanic right now. We're doing DOT annual inspections, trailer repair, truck repair, just whatever you need, we can take care of.
Wow, that's really nice to know because, we have to drive into some other cities. Not convenient. You can't get all that done here in Urbana at dedicated diesel.
Fox News. This time between Israel and Lebanon, where Iran-backed Hezbollah says what it does depends on Israel, which has been fighting the Iran proxy and still plans to keep troops in some areas during the 10-day ceasefire. President Trump speaking with the Lebanon president and Israeli prime minister earlier today, inviting both to the White House for talks.
Officials are telling us the president was working with leaders at his level while Secretary Rubio worked at the ambassador level, and a White House official tells us as these calls were happening, the State Department was simultaneously working with the respective governments to formulate a memorandum of understanding for the ceasefire.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. Iran has been pushing for a ceasefire in Lebanon as Pakistan works to arrange more talks between the U.S. and Iran.
Iran wants to make a deal, and we're dealing very nicely with them. We've got to have no nuclear weapons. If we do, that's a big factor. And they're willing to do things today that they weren't willing to do 2 months ago.
The ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is set to end next week. The House Speaker still working to get more Republicans on board with extending part of a surveillance law that allows intelligence agencies to spy on foreign suspects without a warrant.
Wednesday, Speaker Johnson said he was aiming for a vote by Thursday, and when asked about that Thursday, he said,
I won't give you any details yet, all right? We're in the middle of that, but we're building consensus, and I'm very optimistic we'll get there.
He then told Fox's chat program it will be later tonight, though he wouldn't detail what, if any, compromises have been made. Some House Republicans, including Tim Burchett and Anna Paulina Luna, said earlier they were still planning to vote no against a FISA extension. Burchett insisted any extension of warrantless surveillance on foreign suspects would still need a provision requiring a warrant to search for any Americans' data that gets swept up during use of the FISA tool.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. America is listening to Fox News.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-983-2077 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-983-2077. That's 800-983-2077. What do you have to lose? Call 800-983-2077. Again, 800-983-2077.
The Trump administration crackdown on foreign nationals driving big rigs now includes punishing New York.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced in a bombshell letter that the administration's yanking nearly $74 million in federal highway funds from New York State for refusing to revoke illegally issued commercial driving license for truckers, and that if it continues to ignore its demands, Washington may withhold another $147 million. A governor's spokesperson told the New York Post the charges were baseless, saying New York follows federal rules for issuing CDLs. The federal crackdown comes amid a number of high-profile accidents involving migrant truck drivers, including one in Florida that killed 3 people last year.
Fox's Carmen Roberts. New Jersey voters pick a new member of Congress today to fill the seat left vacant when Democrat Mikey Sherrill became governor. And Lilia Mejia hopes to keep the seat blue, backed by fellow progressives, including Senator Bernie Sanders. Republican Joe Hathaway is trying to flip it, a former mayor and local councilman running as a moderate. New music on the way from Reba McEntire.
The Country Music Hall of Famer will be delivering new music in a new way to mark her 50-year career.
I guess the world didn't stop for my broken heart.
Each month, Reba McEntire plans to unveil a different digital music capsule that pairs a new song with tracks from her catalog that match the same theme. The first arrives Friday on her official website and major streaming platforms and is titled One Night in Tulsa.
Fox's Monica DeLuca, that first collection, all Oklahoma-related songs. She also plans to launch the Making of Reba playlist beginning May 1st. Back-to-back records on Wall Street for the S&P and the NASDAQ. The Dow also finishing in the green, up 115. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Since we opened our doors in 1868, Busey has fostered deep customer relationships and vibrant communities, embodying a legacy of partnership and progress. With multiple lines of business, we provide a range of financial solutions tailored to your needs. From digital banking to planning for retirement, Busey is here to help you achieve your financial goals. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Sarah Champagne Managing Partner Ben Quattrone on why integrity is important at Sarah.
We hire the person. The person makes the deal. The person makes the department. The person makes everyone around them treat people with courtesy and respect. If you have a quality human being, you can play any position, right? We're talking about sports. They can perform in any department, and I could teach someone a job, but I can't teach them to be a good person.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA champagne.com.
Actually, I called the provider. It was just going to be a while before I could have service, and I couldn't wait, so I was recommended to Classic. Professionalism, their dependability, credibility, and the service technicians, I wouldn't ever call anybody else.
I truly believe that after people have experienced other companies and then given us a try, they can clearly see the difference.
Visit ClassicPlum.com.
Our yoga instructor challenged us to find inner peace. I found it faster than anyone. After 4 seconds, I stood up and screamed, "I found Nirvana! I win!" They asked me to leave. I guess they don't respect winning. Bet365 does, though. New customers get $150 in bonus bets just for betting $10. Namaste, losers. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Illinois. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Have you been to Pards in Urbana? Well, you need to go to Pards in Urbana. Here's what people are saying. Great customer service, friendly staff. They treat you like family. I love Pards. I was very impressed. Great service, very neat store. I was greeted and asked if they could help me. That's why you should go. Check them out. It's Pards in Urbana. They're between University and Maine. It's on Maple. Pards in Urbana, or visit pards.com. Pards.com.
Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
I actually, no joke, I had a dream last night that I was running the board and I forgot every button.
Remain calm. All is well.
So I knew when I came in, it's probably not the day for me on the board.
It's fair.
So
I'll try not to do that. I promised Curtis I wouldn't delete all of his hard work.
Actually, Actually, now that he's not here, there are a few hotkeys I'd like to get in there and delete that he uses when I say something dumb. So
you'll have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow.
We'll see. Surely, I doubt he's listening on his way down to wherever this concert is.
I can't find it. The hell with it.
He said he's going to see... Actually, I don't remember anymore. He listens to music I don't listen to. So,
Heading my rules.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a good time today.
Bang, 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 bang. Vamonos, vamonos.
Yeah, that happened on Tuesday. Big shout out to the great one, Kyle Tosk, for filling in and helping our guy Evan. ESPN Radio 93.5. It is The Drive. I'm Curtis Allen. Evan now out today, so any of the hotkeys he deleted, I had our fine intern, the nephew, Cooper O'Kelly from the Champagne Room, fill those back in. Coop, how you doing over there, sir? We switched spots. You're running the board now. You're in charge of everything, man.
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's like riding a bike. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute since you've been here. Tristan Thomas from WCIA3 is going to hop on with us in just a few. We'll talk about hashtag the retention. The Illini got a big boost yesterday. It started with David Mirkovic announcing he was coming back, which he did on Instagram and Twitch. And then the Ivasic twins and Jake Davis announced they are coming back. Also, we find out Ty Rodgers has hit the transfer portal following Mihajlo Petrovic. And Stephen Vox coming to town. It's a lot of moving parts, man. Plus, spring football is going on. The NFL draft is coming up. So we got a lot to discuss, but... we'll get into... I'm really curious to get Tristan's thoughts on how Stephen Vox is going to fit in with this offense. I'm really curious about what he thinks about the announcement last night, how all that played out, because much like you, Coop, Tristan's a young guy. He probably knows way more about Twitch than I do. I don't recall when I was a kid having... I mean, I guess we did have friends. We'd all hang out and play video games together. But the live stream, I don't know. I'm going to have to find out. Tristan Thomas from WCIA3 Sports. Are you officially on Twitch now, sir?
Well, Glenn Kinley posted this on Twitter of just downloading the Twitch app, and I was in that same boat as well. Not that I haven't watched Twitch streams before, but I'm not as into it as some other people with like Kai Cenat and some of those guys that are just known for being streamers. But I'll tell you what, we were all on pins and needles waiting for David to make his announcement, even when he said it was 325 and that he had to lock in. It was like he got distracted 4 or 5 times reading the comments. It was pretty funny. I think he's got a future in that. Like, he's just such a likable guy, such a likable personality. I could watch David Mirkovic play any video game, go around Champaign, just walking around Green Street. I don't know. He's got a future in that, though, for sure. And in basketball, obviously, which Illinois is so excited to have him back.
Clearly, and let's talk about that. Before we get into his future as a gamer, because Big Z and Merck and Andre were all having some fun this week on Twitch. I believe it was Merck that challenged Andre to an arm wrestling match, and then Andre says that he doesn't arm wrestle fat people, if I remember that correctly. But let's focus.
That was another interesting thing.
Let's focus on the basketball court. So Merck's the first one to announce that he was coming back, and Evan and I had talked plenty on this week that, if some of these guys were going to be at the Kicking Cancer event, that there was a good chance that we might find out some more were coming back. And the Twins and Jake Davis returned. So let's talk about that. What does this mean for the Illini program from your perspective? And what has it done for the team to, I will say, remain in the spotlight nationally as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you bring back so much production. Between those 4 guys, you're looking at like 35 points a game from last year. You talk about the front court size and being the biggest team in college basketball. Like, you get that back with Tommy and Z, obviously, and then Stephen Vox is 6'7" as well. Like, you bring back just a ton of size there. But I mean, I don't want to say like the whole core of the team, because obviously Keaton and replacing him is going to be a big thing, and still got to figure out what's the deal with Andre and trying to court John Blackwell and all that. But I guess like the culture core of this team,
Mm-hmm.
like I think when you talk about a Ty Rodgers departing, which we can get into as well, the guys that have now been here know Illinois basketball, know everyday guys, and Brad's expectations. Like Tommy is way up there, and going into year 3, and Jake Davis as well. And I'm sure Big Z, even before he got here, heard all about the team culture and what Tommy was experiencing in his first year. So yeah, just I mean, also just great vibes, guys. Right? Like anytime we get a chance to talk to these guys, you never know what they're going to say, and on the court they just seem to be, as Brad Underwood says, connectors, and guys just like seem to love playing with David and Jake and Big Z and Tommy, like just guys that are just they just seem to make the team culture better, and just other guys want to be around. But when you talk about David as well, like I mean, in the NCAA tournament, like there were games when he had the size advantage and he was just unstoppable. I just think of that Penn game where it's like, man, this guy is a force. And then you talk about a continued progression of his three-pointer as well. Like you saw him just get slimmed down a little bit, but I think retain a lot of his strength. He was maybe a bit more mobile than he was to start the year. I think he lost 20-something pounds. So to bring him back, another year of maturity and growth and strength, and he'll have a busy summer as well. What did he say? What was his phrasing of the off season? I forget, but a big off season ahead for him. I believe he's going to play for the Montenegro senior national team as well. So plenty of basketball to look forward to between all these guys, and excited to have them back.
Well, let's stick with Merck since that's what we're talking about right now. Coop and I were talking a little bit ago about where his game is, how it's progressed, and where it could go. Now, Merck had said there wasn't another school for him. It was either Illinois or the NBA, and if he would have decided to go to the NBA, we're talking about an early, mid, second-round pick. How much more can he elevate his game with another year with Brad Underwood and the Illini system?
Yeah, I think he's going to bring back a lot of the same physicality and maybe even elevate some of that as well. And maybe who knows? Maybe you could see more of the underhand passes. I know Brad Underwood and some of the Ben Hummerkows were like, hey, maybe don't do that again. But hey, you never know if that's you keep putting the ball in David's hand. You never know what's going to happen. But I think the skill development as well, like as I mentioned, the 3-pointer. I mean, being a more and more reliable pick and pop guy, being able to do that with Tommy, do that with Z. Obviously, you have Jake from anywhere in 3-point land. So just being able to continuously stretch the floor with him, I think is big. And even in the paint, like we saw him kind of develop that like hook shot that he used in Big Ten play a lot. Can he get more of that with some more post touches? I think you're looking at another high usage, high production season ahead for David, and maybe not a huge jump in numbers, but certainly will still just be a big part of this team.
ESPN Radio 93.5, it is The Drive. I'm Curtis Allen, the nephew. Cooper O'Kelly from the Champagne Room filling in. Tristan Thomas from WCIA 3 Sports on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line with us.
Tristan, at Coach Underwood's event, Big Z, Tommy, Jake Davis, they all took the time to announce that they were coming back. The crowd starts chanting Andre's name, but he stays silent. Do you make anything out of that, or is that maybe reading into things a little too far?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it obviously wasn't his time to announce his decision. He's got certainly has a decision ahead of him. I mean, I almost wonder if it's either him or John Blackwell that are, considering what their role would be. Not to say that you couldn't have both of them here. I think you can, if you can pull that off NIL-wise. I mean, that would be you're talking about one of the most talented rosters in college basketball if you get both of those guys.
Yeah.
But I think maybe it's worth considering. I think if you're Andre, of how do you have the touches, what you want, the role you want, if a guy like that is here. A lot to consider, I think, on Andre's part, where, he came here, he did the buy into the team culture stuff and show he can be a key part of a winning team, but does he want to be the number one, the the unquestioned number one somewhere. Maybe he's still thinking about that. I don't know. I'm just speculating here.
Sure.
But yeah, it's an interesting thing. Obviously, the main thing we're going to be looking for the rest of the season is, or the rest of the offseason, rest of the transfer portal, even with the talented freshmen you're bringing in as well, like what kind of role is there for Andre and or John Blackwell, and how do they feel about the either of them being here or being elsewhere? I don't know. It's something to consider.
Well, when we were discussing this earlier, Tristan, I thought of Andre as a starter. I didn't see him being a bench player or a role player this year, and he ultimately was giving you starter production off the bench as the season progressed, which was fantastic for the Illini. I feel like in this year, as a senior, I would imagine, or I guess a fourth-year player, I would imagine him as a starter. If he does come back and the pieces fall in place, where would you see him? Do you see him in that sort of small forward position, or how does the roster shake out? Perfect world. And also, we talk about Stephen Vox and Quentin Coleman and what their roles will be when they come to town too.
Yeah, I really think bringing Andre back would be big, because he would really fit the mold of kind of that three spot that you really want. Whereas some of these other guys, I think, was more of his guards, and obviously Tommy and Z of your being your big guys. I think also if you're talking roster and whatnot, they could use another more so break glass in case of emergency big guy. I don't know what Jason Jackson's future is. Obviously, he was out this year with a blood clot, and that's serious.
Yeah.
But then when you talk about guys you consider more of kind of that forward type role, I think that's kind of where you could see Andre coming back, whereas Blackwell, I think, is kind of that two guard. So I know they play positionless basketball, and Brad Underwood and staff will figure out the pieces regardless. But yeah, that size and kind of that forward presence, I think, is what you want back from Andre. And I'd be really excited about a second year of Andre in this offense. Like, I imagine it's tough to, when you're the portal guy bouncing around to 3 different schools in 3 years. Like, I imagine it's tough to come into a whole new system every year and learn everything and learn the guys you're playing with. And I imagine that's got to take some time, even with a full summer, to just get a few games under your belt with a team. So that's another selling point, I think, to bring back Andre, of just, hey, stay here. You people know Andre Stojakovic, and outside of the name, like, he showed what he could do plenty of times throughout the season, especially in the NCAA tournament. So I think there's a lot working for the idea of bringing Andre back, and it's just will the cards align?
Tristan, I know that the Illini were without Ty Rodgers on the court for obviously 2 straight seasons, but he was constantly referred to as a culture guy and one of the hallmarks of culture for Brad Underwood and the Illini. So what are they ultimately losing in Ty Rodgers by him entering the transfer portal?
Yeah, I mean, you're losing, as you mentioned, culture guy. Certainly a guy who came in with big expectations and became a fan favorite. I think largely with the role he played defensively and some of the electrifying plays he could make at the rim. And then there's the idea of if you could really get him to add a 3-point shot, then the sky's the limit for Ty Rodgers. But man, at the end of the day, I think it's just it was an amicable split for both ways, where the reliability with the injury stuff, like, that's tough to have on your roster. And I think if you're Ty, you see the role not being guaranteed, where he would have had to come in and earn something even next year, having been a veteran. That's just, it makes sense for him to move on. But I'll tell you, it was great following him. Great. Anytime I got to chat with him, he was awesome. I know Illini fans are going to be rooting for Ty Rodgers wherever he goes. I think kind of a Coleman type situation where you go, this guy's always an Illini. He's been here. Yeah. He invested in this team and this fan base and this community. It makes sense. So yeah, for Ty, wishing nothing but the best. But yeah, just it seems like a split that we kind of expected to happen.
Coop, you got anything over there, my fine intern?
Yeah, I mean, Tristan, I don't know how involved you've been with attending spring football practice or anything like that, or keeping your ear to the ground in terms of what's going on with Brett Bielema's squad. But have you heard anything recently about how Caden Hauser's looked, how the team is kind of adapting to the new Coach Hauck defense, anything of the sorts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned a little bit of that last time I was on, but some familiarity with the defense, and I think that guys like the some of the chaos that defense can cause. I'll say a thought I had about Illinois football today, and something I've seen in kind of limited action is if I had to pick my guy receiver as a newcomer, I'm pretty excited about Jay-Sean Platt. I think you saw the production last year at FAU, I believe. But I saw him he caught passes from Luke Altmaier in his pro day, and you see him and you're like, man, I think this guy can be, a productive guy. Not the biggest guy, but it looks like just has the speed and the hands, and just reminds me of, you look at him on the field and you're like, that's a productive receiver. Will it all align? I mean, Alex Perry is a guy to be excited about it as well. Talk about coming from FIU and the production he had, and just the whole skill set he brings as well. So excited to see kind of how some of those new receivers fit in with Caden Hauser as well. But yeah, we'll be. I haven't been at practice in a few days, but excited to get back. Anytime we're out there, excited to see kind of who's standing out, and we'll certainly be looking for all of that with the defense and how those roles get defined and all that.
Tristan, what are you working on, and where can folks find your work?
Well, kind of bouncing around all over the place this time of year with portal season going to be obviously closing that out pretty soon once we figure out what the Illinois basketball roster is, as mentioned, following spring football. But obviously spring sports as well, high school, college softball, Illinois baseball, college baseball at EIU as well, high school, track and field as well. I was at the track and field meet over the weekend, and I'm not a big track guy. It's kind of one of those, if I'm going to it, I'm like, all right, I got to make sure I know what the deal is and what events I need to get to. But it was pretty cool, so some local kids doing some big things there in the running events, like Jackson Gilbert from Urbana running at Illinois won the 800-meter run, and he told me, I did a little interview with him after, he said he hadn't run that event in like 4 years, which is crazy. You haven't run an event in 4 years, and you go in a college meet and win it. Like, that was unreal. And another cool kind of Illini connection, Deanna Price, who's the assistant throws coach for Illinois, is, I think, ranked world number 2 in the women's hammer throw, and she was competing in that same meet, not with Illinois, I think as like a Nike athlete. But got to see an Olympic level athlete throwing the hammer, which is pretty impressive. So yeah, just a little bit of everything, bouncing around to a bunch of different sports, but yeah, getting it all covered. And you can find all my coverage at Tristan Thomas TV on Twitter and Tristan Thomas WCIA on Facebook. Dude, keep up the great work. You are all over the place, and we love it. Looking forward to talking to you again next week. Yes, sir. Thanks, boys. Have a good one. You got it. That is Tristan Thomas from WCIA3 on the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World phone line with us. Follow him at Tristan Thomas TV. I will say this, he and Glenn both the guys from WCIA, they both find themselves in these awesome, hilarious situations sometimes, in particular with this group from the Illini, like with Merck and the Twins and stuff like that. And it's not only very informative, but highly entertaining as well. 217-359-2255. A text from the 847. I usually listen on the live stream, but watching on YouTube today, not only is that Cooper a knowledgeable and articulate sports radio guy, he's also a handsome kid. All right, that's a little weird. Why would somebody send that in? Is that your... Is my mom. Oh, it's your... Oh, I did the sound and it was your... I'm sorry. Don't get mad at me. Is it
is it Mrs. O'Kelly? Okay, Mrs. O'Kelly, please don't get mad at me for doing the. I didn't know it was you. I thought it was just one of his many fans. He does have some groupies that hang out around the radio station. Now, I don't know if I should say that. I don't know if your girlfriend's listening or not, Coop. But
well, no, I mean, it's not just girls. It's guys and girls.
Well,
they just want autographs.
Everybody wants a piece of the Coop.
Yeah.
That's in fact, we're going to go ahead and trademark that and put it on shirts, the Coop. 217-359-2255 for the Max Twin City Recycling text line. We're going to talk a little NFL. Let's do a little NFL draft when we come back, Coop. We'll take the Bears angle on it. Also, the latest on Gabe Akis and where he might be a fit. I know a lot of people are talking about the Chargers in the second round. And also look at a possibility for Luke Altmaier to go in the late rounds as well. So we'll dive into some of that next on The Drive.
Hi, this is Damon Hackelman, owner of Clean Rite in Champaign. As winter fades and spring rains move in, melting snow, heavy storms, and stressed pipes can quickly turn into flooding and water damage for homes and businesses across Champaign County. When water shows up where it shouldn't, every minute matters. At Clean Rite, we're a family-owned and operated company with deep roots in this community, and we're ready with a 24/7 emergency response. Our certified, experienced technicians arrive fast to assess the damage and start the restoration process right away. Whether it's a flooded basement, burst pipe, or storm damage, we work to make the recovery quick and as stress-free as possible. Our mission is to return your property to clean, safe, like-new condition so you can get back to normal. We work alongside trusted expert partners to make the restoration process smooth and stress-free, guiding you every step of the way. Learn more or request emergency service anytime at cleanrite.net.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circus Sports. From baseball to basketball, hockey to golf, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. Player-friendly pricing, enhanced in-game options, and best of all, no bet fees. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circus Sports has you covered. Download the Circus Sports app or visit circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Body and Soul Sports, simply the best. Open weekdays 9 to 6, Saturday 9 to 5, and Sundays noon to 5. Making your running event easier with logoed apparel, accessories for your fundraiser, with screen printing, decals, and more. Find them at the Health and Wellness Expo with the Illinois Race Weekend coming up April 23rd through the 25th. Stop by and get the proper shoes for any event this spring. 1317 Dunlap at Route 45 and Curtis Road in Savoy, or visit bodyandsoulsports.com.
Flooring Surfaces is ready for your next renovation. We stock football fields for the flooring in our Champaign warehouse. Porcelain tile with large formats, dozens of options, all in stock, along with Cushion Tech waterproof vinyl, and deals on closeout backsplash tile. And don't forget about premium thin sets, performance grouts, tools, trowels, and adhesives. Flooring Surfaces is your local supplier for all kinds of in-stock flooring. See us today at 401 Mercury Drive in Champaign.
Flooring Surfaces, your first stop.
Everyone knows that when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 for PDR Automotive. But did you also know that if you don't have a key and you need it to run, call 367-9481. PDR now performs key cutting with programming. PDR also performs module cloning. Cloning makes that module plug and play, in many cases allowing you to utilize a used module where a new module is no longer available or very expensive. Remember, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Pia Sports Bar and Grill is your place to watch Major League Baseball games and enjoy pitchers of your favorite beer, including Coors Light, Yuengling Lager, Yuengling Flight, and Miller Lite, home of the Slugger Burger. Meet friends on the patio and watch your favorite sports on multiple flat-screen TVs. If your team is looking to gather after the game, that's been a Pia's tradition since 1975. Pia's, open early with Big Tito's Bloody Marys. Pia's Sports Bar and Grill, 1609 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
Actually, I called the provider. It was just going to be a while before I could have service, and I couldn't wait, so I was recommended to Classic. Professionalism, their dependability, credibility, and the service technicians, I wouldn't ever call anybody else.
I truly believe that after people have experienced other companies and then given us a try, they can clearly see the difference.
Visit ClassicPlum.com.
This is Paul Regan with Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. This April, pick any day of the month. Don't miss our spring cleaning, scratch and dent, and or discontinued sale event of the century. We're talking 50, 60, 70% off the already reduced price. Wow! Now's the time to replace that dishwasher that's barely washing dishes. Here we have a dishwasher with a small dent on the door. Your kids are playing football in the kitchen every night while you're making dinner. It's gonna get dented anyway. Now you have a fully functional dishwasher and you saved $400. How about a refrigerator? Last year's model, not a single scratch. Save yourself $1,000 and put it towards a family summer vacation. Awesome! A new vent hood above your range. Be honest, you haven't looked at those grease filters since the late 90s. Buy a closeout hood and watch it shine from a room over for the next quarter century. It's the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World Spring Cleaning, Scratch and Dent, and or discontinued closeout appliance sale of the century. You don't have to rush. The sale is going on the whole month of April. Unless it's April 29th, you might want to hurry. Wow!
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Welcome back into The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. I'm Curtis Allen. The nephew, Cooper O'Kelly from the Champagne Room, our fine intern, holding it down today with me as well. We've been doing a lot of Illini talk, obviously, as we do around here when we're being serious. And that'll continue. Let's do some NFL, though, talk here. Let's see. What we got, 2 weeks to the draft or what? One?
Exactly.
Holy
1 week.
cow. Yeah, that's right. It's next Thursday. Are you one of those guys that's just going to lock in for the draft?
I'm going to watch it.
You watch?
Yeah.
Do you watch? How much of it do you watch?
I'll watch the whole first round.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of usually I'm used to the Bears having a higher pick, so there's more to be excited about right away. But no, I'll sit there and I'll wait till 25 at the very least.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, because that is where they are picking, those Chicago Bears, which you can always hear all season long on our sister station, Q96. And big shout out to Jeff Joniak for always being kind with his time and chatting it up with us here at ESPN 93.5 and on The Drive. But where do you think they go with that first pick, sir? And why will it be an Illini player?
Oh, man. I don't.
Too high? You think it's too high for Gabe?
Yeah,
okay.
It is. It is too high for Gabe. As fun as that would be and as exciting as that would be, it is a bit of a reach there, but it's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. I think that is pretty much a guarantee, I would assume, because you're still missing a couple starter impact level guys on the defensive side of the ball that you need to hit on in order to continue this positive momentum and make sure that this team kind of takes that next step and is an upper echelon contender next year.
When we talk about the defensive side of the ball, do you want to see this group? And when I say this group, I'm talking about Poles and the entire Bears front office. Do you want to see them go D-line? You want to see them get an edge or a D-tackle with that pick? Because this is a deep draft when it comes to edge rushers, defensive linemen. It really, really is. Not so much on the offensive side of the ball when you talk about running backs, receivers, quarterbacks, but defensively, man, this is a good one.
Yeah, I think with their first two picks, and I'm kind of indifferent on which one comes first, but in the first two picks, I think you got to go grab an edge and you got to go grab a safety. So whichever one comes first, I know a lot of mocks have been having them take that guy Thieneman from Oregon, the safety at 25, and then coming back around and getting an edge in the second round. I'd be fine with that. Typically, I think you'll find that edge rushers are more like game breakers and impact players than safeties are. So if you can get a really good one at pick 25 towards the end of the first, I would be very happy with that. But I think in the first two, you got to go DB and you got to go edge.
Well, right now, if you are looking at where Gabe Akis will most likely end up, he's in the most range of mid-40s to low 50s. And so that's where there's a lot of talk about maybe the Chargers are the team that grabs him. They have a need, or maybe the Bucs, maybe even the Vikings. Yeah, I wouldn't like that, but whatever, be happy for Gabe. What if he ended up with Green Bay? How would you feel about that, sir?
Not happy.
Would you be able to, if Gabe Akis is sitting there at 52, and you're the Bears at 57. Would you try to jump those Packers to get him, sir?
I don't think the Packers would do that. I don't think they'd
they
let you come jump up.
No.
I really like Gabe. It was a pleasure to cover him. He always had a ton of time for members of the media and everything. Seems like a great guy. Really good player. If he goes to the Packers, I don't know if I'm going to be able to support him and cheer for him. I'd probably lean towards yes, though. I'd probably still have it in me to do so.
When you look at the quarterbacks in this year's draft, it's Fernando Mendoza and then everybody else. I would imagine Ty Simpson from Alabama is the second quarterback taken off the board. But then when you go from there, it's kind of, okay, we're talking third, fourth round for a guy like Garrett Nussmeier or Drew Aller. I mean, Aller in the fourth round, how do you feel about that? You know, like
I don't know.
You're making the face right there because we've seen what Drew Aller is. Carson Beck, a lot of history with Miami, but he's still probably a fourth, fifth round guy. And that's when after that you get into the guys where you're talking sixth, seventh round, and that's kind of where Luke is. So in regards to his experience, his poise, those sort of things that he has shown, that's got to be appealing to NFL teams.
Yeah.
You know, at the very least, you're talking about a shot in a camp for Luke Altmaier. But what would be a good fit, and I'm not talking about as a starter, I'm talking about a place where he can learn the game and develop as a quarterback. Like, is there a good scenario where you would feel happy with him being in this locker room, whatever locker room that might be?
I don't know. You have to think about it where ideally it's an established head coach who's got a good culture going, a good locker room going, hopefully have a starting QB with a little bit of experience. I don't know. I think what would have initially popped into mind would be Atlanta when Kirk Cousins was there, but unfortunately he is elsewhere, so don't think that would be a good fit really anymore. I'm trying to think. I mean, for some reason, something about Luke makes me think that he's going to end up in Dallas. I don't know why. I don't know if there's really any rhyme or reason to that whatsoever.
I'll tell you why, because Jerry loves stars. That's why.
Yeah,
and he knows
maybe,
a star, baby, when he sees one.
Maybe he could woo Jerry with his I don't know, his coach speak, his owner speak.
I do agree with you that I'd like to see him go somewhere with an established head coach with a strong culture. If you know, the Chargers with one of their comp picks in the seventh round, I wouldn't be upset if you see Luke Altmaier end up with Jim Harbaugh or even with John Harbaugh out in New York.
Yeah.
Pick a Harbaugh, that would be all right with me. The Broncos and Sean Payton and his system is kind of intriguing to me with Luke in a backup role there as well. I mean, I think at some point he's a guy that's going to end up in a camp no matter what. If he goes undrafted, he's going to go to a camp. I really think we're talking seventh round, most likely. And then from there, like you said, you just hope it's someone with a good culture and a good atmosphere where he can learn and continue to grow. And then a couple of years down the road, maybe you're talking about a very serviceable backup that you feel, very comfortable with coming in if a starter goes down.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he showed a lot of traits that can prove to NFL GMs and higher-ups that he can go out there and win you games if he has to. He has, like, that clutch gene, and he proved that at Illinois that he is able to go down there and lead game-winning drives. And I feel like that's kind of what people say about backup quarterbacks now, right? Like, they have the ability to go out there and win you a game if need be. Like, think about a playoff team. Their starter goes down. He can't play one game. You need a backup who can go in there and at least be serviceable enough to keep your team afloat. And I think Luke could get there, certainly. He has the traits. Seems like in every media availability he's had leading up to the draft and all of this that he really just wants a chance. He wants a chance to go out there and continue proving like what and who he is as a player. And I think he's got the talent. I don't see why not.
Who are some of the other we know who they are, but let's talk about some of the other Illini players that are in the draft, where they might be a good fit, and where you might see them going as well, nephew.
I think J.C. Davis is going to be probably the next guy off the board after Gabe, maybe in the fourth or fifth round, something along those lines. Team-wise, I'm not really sure, but I do think that he's a guy that is going to get a chance to get some reps and and maybe go out there and prove himself in preseason and show why he should get to play during the regular season even as well.
Let me ask you this. Would you be, how to put it, aside from, I'm kidding around about, Gabe Akis and the Packers and things like that, although would he become Gabe Packus if he went there?
That'd be kind of tough.
That'd be a rough one.
Yeah.
What would disappoint you in regards to the Bears or the Alliance? Let's start with the Bears. You look at what they're doing. I've seen more than one person say don't need to take a receiver in the first couple rounds. But if there's not a lot of super talented game changer wide receivers in this bunch, but if an Elijah Surratt is sitting there in the second round, would you be tempted, knowing that you just traded DJ Moore away? Would there be a high-end receiver, maybe the Boston kid from Washington? I'm having a brain. His name is Denzel Boston, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's Denzel Boston. Trust me, he plays for Washington. Since you don't know who he is, I guess you don't care if he would be sitting there.
My whole thing, that's what I don't want. And I have a lot of trust for Ben Johnson and what he wants to do and his vision for building this team and the weapons that he wants in his offense. But I would have to say that I think my gut reaction right away, if they take a skill guy like a receiver or even a running back or something crazy like that in the first 2 rounds, is I'd probably be pretty upset.
Yeah. 217-359-2255 for the Max Twin City Recycling text line. Well, let's focus on the Illini guys. Let's focus on Gabe Akis, because right now most projections have him early, mid, second round, mostly in the middle of the second round. Where would you like to see Gabe end up? And remember, Gabe fits the mold, obviously, as a D end, or depending on the scheme. If you're talking about a 3-4, you could see him being, an outside linebacker in that regard as well, just a hand-in-the-dirt pass rusher no matter what.
Yeah, and you mentioned this at the top of the segment. The Chargers have been a name that have been popping up and around all over Gabe Akis' name, and he posted about a week and a half ago that he was in the locker room at the Chargers facility.
Right.
He was taking a picture with Khalil Mack, big smile on his face. I think that'd be a great spot for him to be and for him to learn. Talk about having a mentor day one of walking into your NFL facility, and you get to learn from Khalil Mack.
Yeah, not many have done it better.
Unbelievable. Being able to learn from a pass rusher like him, probably one of the best of my generation, of my lifetime, would be great for Gabe. And I think that, he's in a spot where I think he can go out there and make an impact his rookie season, right away.
Yeah,
it's going to take time. It's going to be a learning curve. So I think having that type of a mentor in front of him would be super cool.
There is an opportunity for Gabe to be not just a contributing player, but obviously an NFL starter in the future, which is very, very exciting. And you look around the NFL the last few years, especially on the defensive side of the ball, you see Illini guys everywhere that are getting not just opportunities, but starting opportunities, and maybe even winning Super Bowls as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool. 217-359-2255 for the Max Twin City Recycling text line. I'm feeling some etched in stone. I know that Evan's not here.
Really?
We haven't done it in a while, but I don't know. I'm kind of feeling it. I don't even have any bets in mind necessarily. I feel like, though, that I could pull something out of this hat.
Some MLB?
We could take a little MLB talk as well. Cardinals not in action today. They're back at it tomorrow here on ESPN 93.5 for a weekend series. And so are the Cubs on our sister station, US 105.9. You can always get the full schedule for both teams at StevieJ.com. That's StevieJay.com. And also on the website right now, your opportunity to score some concert tickets. If you are a fan of country music, next Friday night, country star Kylie Morgan is going to be coming to town. You can hear her latest hit on US 105.9, and she'll be performing, like I said, next Friday at the City Center. If you would like to win tickets to that show, well, we've got your hookup on that as well. Just text City Center to 217-359-2255. And, tax season, it's come and gone. You got to file your taxes, right? Coop, how'd that go for you, buddy?
I was not happy about it. I owed some money this year.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What did you do? Did you lose some money gambling or something, or did you win a bunch of money? That's what happened.
No, neither. My income from over the summer was like as a contractor, so I had to pay a tax on everything I made.
The boy is learning. Well, when it comes to your finances and taxes, and I'm sorry you had to pay in. I'm sorry you didn't get a refund.
It's all right.
But when it comes to this sort of stuff, you know what you have to do, don't you, Coop?
Busey.
You got to not just Busey. You got to do some spring cleaning this time of the year with Busey and your finances. That's right. The season for spring cleaning is here, and while you may be focused on organizing closets or scrubbing floors, Coop, Busey encourages you to clean up your finances too. And here are 7 steps to cut back on financial clutter, especially for a young person like you that just had to pay in on those taxes. I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm listening.
Here's the first thing you can do. Evaluate and pay down your debt. Take a look at how much you owe and what you pay in interest. Number 2, review your budget. A lot can change in a year. Like maybe you get some contract work, so determine areas where you can cut back. Number 3, make sure you're checking your credit report every month. Take advantage of credit report consultations from Busey. Number 4, sign up for e-statements and paperless billing. That'll keep your house physically and financially organized. Number 5, set up automatic bill pay. Never worry about a missed payment impacting your credit score with an auto bill pay. Number 6, consolidate your accounts. Close accounts that you rarely use. Move that money into the accounts that you do use. And 7, download the Busey mobile app. You can manage your finances whenever you want, wherever you are with Busey's mobile and online services. Get started on your spring cleaning today with the expertise and innovative products and services at Busey. Visit Busey.com for more resources or stop by one of their many convenient locations in Central Illinois, member FDIC. And we thank Busey for sponsoring The Drive. Quick break, last break of this hour. We come back. I'm feeling it, Coop. I know Evan's not here. I know we haven't done it in a while, but I think we're going to have to do some etched in stone.
Let's get it.
But maybe we'll have to call it something else, like All In with Alan or Cash In with Coop. Oh, we're going to cash in with Coop.
I kind of like All In with Alan.
You like that? We'll do that next on The Drive.
Since we opened our doors in 1868, Busey has fostered deep customer relationships and vibrant communities, embodying a legacy of partnership and progress. With multiple lines of business, we provide a range of financial solutions tailored to your needs. From digital banking to planning for retirement, Busey is here to help you achieve your financial goals. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
This is Paul Reekin with Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. This April, pick any day of the month. Don't miss our spring cleaning, scratch and dent, and or discontinued sale event of the century. We're talking 50, 60, 70% off the already reduced price.
Wow!
Now's the time to replace that dishwasher that's barely washing dishes. Here we have a dishwasher with a small dent on the door. Your kids are playing football in the kitchen every night while you're making dinner. It's going to get dented anyway. Now you have a fully functional dishwasher and you saved $400. How about a refrigerator? Last year's model, not a single scratch. Save yourself $1,000 and put it towards the family summer vacation. Awesome! A new vent hood above your range. Be honest, you haven't looked at those grease filters since the late 90s. Buy a closeout hood and watch it shine from a room over for the next quarter century. It's the Dick Van Dyke Appliance World Spring Cleaning, Scratch and Dent, and or discontinued closeout appliance sale of the century. You don't have to rush. The sale is going on the whole month of April. Unless it's April 29th, you might want to hurry.
Wow!
Hi, I'm Jennifer Reefstack. I'm the co-owner of Shimmer and Chic Boutique.
We can help you get dressed for Mother's Day, graduations, and so much more. I'm Taylor Reefstack, and I am the co-owner of Shimmer and Chic Boutique. We are a women's clothing boutique located at 101 North Main Street in Tuscola. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook under Shimmer and Chic Boutique. You can also join our Facebook group called Shimmer and Chic VIP to find all the latest deals and new items.
You know, with like Lands Inc., we specialize in, we've got an amazing HVAC department that takes care of your furnace, you know, your heat system, air conditioning, they do that.
Yeah.
And for us in Underground, we take care of all your pipes that come into your home, leave your home, and work around your home to keep it dry, you know, your drainage system, sump pumps, things like that. And exactly what you said, if you don't know, you know, a couple decades ago, it was more like, oh, something broke, go fix it, repair it, no big deal. Well, now with the technology, we have cameras, like you said, that we can come in on these orange comfort clubs, and we can camera your sewer lines underneath your house and check them out just to make sure they're fine. If there's something wrong with it, we can show you right then. Truth is in seeing it.
Yeah.
We show it to you, and then you can plan as a homeowner for making those repairs or dealing with that issue later on. If it's an immediate need, at least you're not caught off surprise.
That sewer camera inspection with a proper clean out. I was just learning more at landsinc.com.
The Drive with Curtis Allen and Evan Stone on ESPN 93.5.
Welcome back into The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. I'm Curtis Allen. Evan off today. Our fine intern, the nephew, Cooper O'Kelly, from the Champagne Room. He's filling in. We haven't done this in a while, but Coop, we got to get the money. I'm stealing his bit. I'm stealing Etched in Stone. What do we call All In with Allen? Is that what we're doing today?
I like it.
Yeah, we're just looking at baseball. That's what we're going to do today. So, and you know what? The baseball season in full swing, no pun intended. So I'm looking at just today's slate of baseball games, and there's not a ton going on today for MLB. However, like if you're looking at stuff right now, Royals are up 9-7 on the Tigers in the ninth. The Rangers are up 5-3 on the A's. So we're looking at the Orioles and the Guardians, Rockies and the Astros, Mariners, Padres. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. And right away, I'm looking at this Rockies versus Astros game. In particular, Juan Maya on the bump. 7:10. That's when this one starts. So make sure you're watching this.
All right.
Maya's been good enough so far this year. They're looking at a plus 1.5. That's the run line for the Rockies. Astros got Ryan Weiss on the bump. I like this matchup. I'm going to say, thanks to Juan Maya's performance, the Rockies plus 1.5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go all in with Allen. Etched in Stone. Cash in with Coop. That's the first one I like. By the way, the over-under for that one's 8.5 runs. I don't know about that, but I really like the plus 1.5 for the Rockies. Next one starts at 7:40 on the West Coast. Mariners and the Padres. Something about the Padres in the early season that I just enjoy. Right, they're not setting the world on fire right now, Coop, by any means. You understand?
Yeah.
However, Walker Buehler on the bump against Luis Castillo. You remember Luis Castillo, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he used to play in your neck of the woods? Didn't he used to play baseball against you back in the day?
I don't think so.
No, I made that up. I totally lied about that. No, Luis Castillo on tonight. Right now, again, over-under for that, 8.5. A typical line, 1.5 runs. But I am looking at that money line. And that plus 102 with Walker Buehler on the bump. Buehler. Too hard to pass up, Coop. So here's what I'm doing. I got to get quiet for a second. I'm going all in with Allen and the Padres. They're winning tonight. Taking the money line. About to turn $2 into $4, Coop. That's what I'm doing. There we go. That's it. And let's see. Did we already do Orioles and Guardians? I just skipped right over that one, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so.
I did. You're quiet over there. Am I losing you?
No, I'm talking.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, well, that one's actually the first game. Orioles, Guardians. I apologize. That one starts in just a little bit, in the next 15 minutes. So let's get crazy here. Over is 8 runs. Guardians have been doing very, very well. I think the Guardians could do that on their own, man. I like this number. You know what? We're going all in, buddy. We're going all in with Allen.
Let's go.
Over 8. So, all right, here it is again. Orioles, Guardians, over 8. Rockies plus 1.5. And Padres on the money line. We'll get those up for you on the socials. Follow The Drive at The Drive 935 on Twitter and Instagram, like ESPN 935 on Facebook. It's been a learning experience today, Coop. We learned about your taxes.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot about, unfortunately, we've learned a lot about the Illini and the retention When do you think we find out something about Andrei Stojakovic?
Tomorrow night.
Well, you think?
Calling my shot. Friday night.
Friday night on Twitch?
Probably not. I think that might just be a Merc thing.
I don't know. They're both on there. Sorry, I have something in my eye. If you're watching on the live stream, I'm rubbing my eye. What did you do over here, Coop?
I didn't do anything.
How did you get dust in my eye?
Wasn't me.
You're calling your shot. You're saying what? You got a time tomorrow night?
Ooh.
Let's do that. Let's etch that in stone. Let's go all in on that.
Tomorrow at 6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m.
Andre makes his big announcement.
I don't know, man. I feel like just the way the social media has been with those guys and with Twitch and the video games and stuff. Is 6:30 really prime time for video games on a Friday?
I don't know. I guess it depends on who you are.
I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to say I do like the announcement coming tomorrow night, though. I do like that because then you got the whole weekend.
Yep.
But I'm going to go Sunday. I say we find out Sunday. Right around what would be the most inconvenient time for anybody that covers Illini athletics? Would it be dinner time on a Sunday?
I was thinking more like noon.
Noon?
Yeah.
Noon Sunday? Yeah, he makes a bowl of ramen or whatever it is, sits down, turns on Twitch. All right, yeah, we'll go ahead and... There's no bet on that, but that's just between Coop and I. No inside information either. Pure speculation. So you're thinking tomorrow night?
Total guess.
I'm with you. I'm going to take Sunday afternoon somewhere, probably around lunchtime, where people need to be paying attention to something else, but they're all looking at their phones. Like, are you seeing this? And then we have the content for Monday.
There we go.
That's what we're going to go with. I love it. Keep the text coming, 217-359-2255 for the Max Twin City Recycling text line. It was a big